Once people get that first initial bite, we usually get them hooked.
It may taste like meat, look like meat, but it's not your typical dish.
They can sizzle, roast, and simmer. Plant-based meats are filling up menus.
No beef.
Introducing the Impossible Whopper.
And flying off shelves. Many consumers make the switch for health, sustainability, or animal welfare reasons. While plant-based meat has wedged its place on the menu, let's check in. Are these alternative meats truly good for us? It takes a lot of ingenuity for plant-based meats to mimic the look and taste of regular meat.
The main protein sources we use are jackfruit, which is like an emulation of like a pulled pork. We have a vegan chicken that's a soy-based, and we also have a mushroom that we use, and we use it as like a mushroom asada. It comes out like a steak.
Where's the beef?
Soy, pea, wheat, or gluten typically make up plant-based meats. They also have a type of fat to mimic the juicy texture of meat. Gum or thickener often creates a springy or chewy texture. Salt, of course, enhances the savory taste. When compared to conventional ground beef, the top meatless burgers are lower in calories, total fat, saturated fat, and contain zero cholesterol. And because it's plant-based, the alternative meats also provide fiber. But there's always a catch. Sodium levels are at least 4 times as high as its meat counterpart. And while they are meat-free, they're often fried, salted, or contain filler ingredients that don't add a ton of nutritional value. While research is still fairly new, studies have shown replacing red meat with plant-based protein can be associated with lower risks of chronic diseases and mortality. For years, studies have shown animal agriculture emits around 10 to 20% of global greenhouse gas emissions, most of which comes from cows. On the other hand, plant-based proteins don't need methane-emitting animals or extra crops for feed, which means they have a significantly smaller greenhouse gas footprint. According to the Good Food Institute, a think tank for alternative meats, if the demand for alternative proteins rises to even 11% of the protein market by 2035, they predict it could cut greenhouse gas emissions equal to decarbonizing the entire aviation industry. If it rose to 50%, land-use greenhouse gas emissions would decline by 31% by 2050. Beef production also uses more natural resources, including land and fresh water, than any other commonly consumed food. It's the single largest driver of habitat loss. On the other hand, experts say plant-based proteins are much more land efficient, since they would use resources directly instead of setting aside fields just to feed the animals. Plants provide 2/3 of the global protein supply on only 1/4 of agriculture land. The freed up land could help mitigate deforestation and habitat loss. While plant-based proteins have come a long way in taste, there's still one big deterrent to greater adoption. According to GFI, plant-based meat is 2 times as expensive as beef, more than 4 times more expensive than chicken, and 3 times as expensive as pork per pound. To lower the price, experts suggest companies should drive up demand and scale up production for their products. Also, increasing production of the ingredients in the products can potentially lower the production cost. Companies can also develop innovative technologies to become more cost-efficient in production. Major meat businesses could also get involved. By following these practices, experts project plant-based meat could be cost-competitive with conventional meat by 2030. Overall, plant-based meats can be healthy in moderation, with a balance of fruits, veggies, and other nutritious food. When reaching for these items, read the label and make sure they're low in saturated fat and sodium. Add in other protein alternatives like legumes, seeds, nuts, and whole grains. As more companies invest in producing plant-based meat alternatives, nutrition and pricing should continue to improve.